Welcome to Ask Sara with Sara Wiseman, where you'll learn how to awaken your divine soul and open your human heart. Sit back, relax, and get ready to laugh and learn. Here's Sara.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ask Sara with Sara Wiseman. So happy to be with you here as we're kind of rounding the corner on May 2018. Just had a delightful visit up to Seattle this past weekend. I saw quite a few of you at a lecture on Friday and a workshop the following day up at East West Books. And I got to say, that was wonderful 2 days. It was thrilling to meet you guys or see old friends, and really had a wonderful time with all of you. So thank you for everybody that showed up. For me, it's such a beautiful time. I mean, obviously I love working in the airwaves, and I love working by internet, but I also just love seeing you in person, especially a lot of you guys who I've seen you for several years now, multiple years of seeing you when I first was starting out and then regrouping now. And it feels like family. A lot of the workshop felt like we were having a party in somebody's living room or, the house or something. It just was a great time. So thank you to everybody that showed up. I want to mention right off the bat, today is Free Readings Tuesday, and that means you can call in for your free reading. Lines are open, and you can call in to 888-298-5569. That's 888-298-5569. And lines are open. Call in for Free Readings Tuesday, and that's a chance to call in pretty much about whatever's on your mind, whatever you'd like to get information on, whatever you'd like to comment on, or whatever is kind of going on for you. Free Readings Tuesday, 888-298-5569. Today we're talking about what are we here to experience, and I think this is such an interesting question because people have a variety of different answers to this question. And to my mind, in terms of my own spiritual understanding, a lot of us have the answer to that question wrong. What are we here to experience? We're going to be talking about that a little bit more later on in the show. For housekeeping, wanted to mention my new book, Messages from the Divine, is out. You can order it. Actually, if you're in Seattle, you can go to East West Books or other places and ask for it. You can also order it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, the various online sources. And don't forget, there's a free 11-week course, and you can sign up. We've got 2 sections going. We've got 1,700 people, actually more than that, signed up for this free course. So jump into that. You can get that on my website, sarawiseman.com. It's right there on the front page, so you won't get lost or anything. It's very easy to find. It's a free 11-week course that's a study guide to the new book, Messages from the Divine. That is very active. Lots of people are enjoying starting to dive into that work right now. The other thing is we are doing signups. We just got 10 days left for signing up for summer small group training. Go to the website, sarawiseman.com. You can learn all about that. That is part of my professional certification program, and you can be part of the summer group and get started on that. And just for those of you who might maybe be listening in the Portland area, I am coming to Portland this coming weekend. Coming to Portland May 26th at New Renaissance Books to do a workshop. So go ahead and reserve your space for that. Again, just go to the website, sarawiseman.com. It is all there. It's I was on another show, I was a guest on another show, and one of the hosts said, wow, your website like really has a lot of stuff in it. And I'm like, yeah, it's just like the multiple rabbit hole. You just keep clicking and there's more content. It's been being built for a long time. So go ahead and explore that. Alrighty, let's just talk about this idea before we go to the phones. What are we here to experience? And you might say, oh, we're here to experience love. And that's partly right. Or we're here to experience, our goals and our achievements. And that's partly right. Or we might say, we're here to experience our family and our relationships. And that's right too. But really what we're really here to experience, like on one level, we're here to experience connection and meaning and love. Those three things. Connection to everything, meaning, we create something of meaning out of our lives. Love is always the force that we strive to be in the love state with everyone and everything. But the bigger, more esoteric ideas, we're here to experience our presence. We're here to experience life from soul perspective. And so this means every chance we get, every time we can remember, we want to stop and we want to go, yeah, I am in a body. Yeah, I do have a personality. But my infinite presence is my true essence, my authentic self. And the word I use for that is soul. A piece of the divine that is also divine. And when we drop into that remembering, outside of any religion or any morality or any of the ideas of rules, when we drop into this understanding of our true essence as infinite soul, we begin to be able to look at our lives differently. All of the details and the drama, all of the should-dos or the to-do lists, even all of the pain and suffering begin to take on a different flavor or feeling because we realize they're just temporary parts in an infinite consciousness. And it can be hard, especially when we're really focused on the day-to-day, the mundane, our worldly lives. It can be hard to kind of look up and just have that moment of awareness of ourselves as soul. But when we start to do that, and that becomes our practice, what's interesting is that our worldly life starts to improve. The more we have this direct connection of our soul self to the divine, the more we have direct connection to the universe. We do this just by remembering who we really are as many times a day as we can remember it. Let's just go ahead and close our eyes. We're going to go into our meditation, then we'll go to the phones in just a second. Let's just go ahead and close your eyes, and I want you to put yourself an image of yourself up in your mind's eye. And I just want you to split yourself up in your mind's eye into body. And go ahead and put that on the far right. There's your body. Personality, and go ahead and put that on the far left. So for body, you're probably getting a picture of yourself, your body. For personality, you're getting a picture of yourself with all your characteristics and little quirks and habits and failings and triumphs and all of that. And then I want you to see in the middle, bigger than the other two, way bigger, is this glowing orb or essence or energy field that is your soul. And just notice what color it is today. And just notice how it begins to expand and through into your mind's eye, all the way out past everything you could imagine, out into space, this gigantic, infinite soul that we're now perceiving as an energy orb of some kind of color. You guys are going to have different colors today, depending on where your vibrations are at. And I want you to just notice how the body and the personality aren't really the infinite parts. And I want you to just notice how much bigger the soul is as you're doing this visualization. It's so much more vast and it can go everywhere. Whereas the body and the personality are just smaller pieces. They're the tools of the soul. They're what the soul uses to have this lifetime. I just want you to really sense that energy orb that is your soul. And we're going to recall that and remember that as we move through our time together today. And you're going to take that with you today as a way of thinking about your essence. And with that, we're going to come back. And we are going to go to the phones, where first up we have Dana calling from Houston. Dana, welcome to the program.
Hi, Sarah. How are you?
Very good. Thanks. Thank you. And what is on your mind, or what can I help you out with today?
Well, I feel like I'm going through massive shifts and transformations, which all seem to be really positive and exciting. But there's one aspect that I'm just kind of not even stumbling with, but more curious about, and that is where we're moving to a different house. And we're renting a current house, and everything seems broken all the time, and just it's not been fun. And so we're moving to a new location, but I'm not sure which house. I have one in mind to rent, and just trying to see if you have any insight on that.
Well, how long have you been in your the one that you're renting now? How long has that been?
11 months only.
Okay. When you mention that place, it definitely comes up as, and it's not you, but the place or the previous inhabitants or multiple previous inhabitants. It's just incredibly chaotic energy there. It's not like it's not like it's evil energy, but it's just incredibly chaotic and dysfunctional. And so it's just real, and it doesn't even seem. It doesn't even.
Everything breaking every day. There's just something breaking, and we don't understand.
Yeah, it doesn't seem that it's even like spirit energy, like ghosts or anything. It's really leftover energy from previous inhabitants. And I think probably as many as like 3 previous, people who live there. So not 3 people, but 3 rental groups. So when's the soonest that you can leave? It's not dangerous. It's just
It's hilarious. I told my husband, he's traveling for business right now, and he called me last night and asked what I was doing, and I said, I'm packing the house. And he said, really, where are we going? I said, I don't know, but I'm just packing because I have control over that part. I can stay busy, and that's okay. The house will come up. So I mean, my lease is up at the end of June, but they obviously would like an answer, the owners do, on what we're going to do, and of course I would like an answer. I would like to know, as I label each box, what room does this go in? Where is it going?
Right. Well, Dana,
There
because
is a
you're who
particular
you
house.
are, yeah. Well, let me because you're who you are, you can give notice without knowing where you're going. That's going to work out okay for you. That's not going to work out for everybody, but you have the sense of flow and you know how to do that. What's the particular house? Tell me a little bit about that.
The house number is 15, and it's only about a mile from here, and it just seems to be really very well maintained. It would be kind of a different style for us. There's, it feels very peaceful in there, which is a welcome change.
Yeah, I don't think there's any, it doesn't, from my end, and I think actually if you just look at your whole intuitive sense, there's not really a question. It's like, just go do that. It feels
Okay.
like also you could do some kind of healing ritual or energy releasing on the house you're renting right now to just like give a break to the next people because that energy, whatever energy's there, it's yeah.
I said I feel so
Yeah,
terrible
it's
for
gotta
whoever's going to move in here. I want to like leave them a note with a little prayer or something. I feel so bad for them.
Well, just do some of the regular things. Like I don't really do practice of smudging, but I would just go around and do some deep meditation in a couple of the rooms and just ask for it to be released and settled because or send the energy back to the previous inhabitants. You'll figure out what to do, but definitely it's chaotic. It's like, wow, it's like everyone's running around in a big rush all the time, like energetically, not you guys, but the previous. And I think that they were just busy and overwhelmed, a lot of the people that live there, and it has not settled. So yeah, so do some work there, give your notice, and yes, just go forward and move. And feels like, this whole idea of we're in Taurus now for the next 7 years. It feels like a very stabilized period comes up, and this new place is this place of calm and stability, and like you're just so grounded there. So that feels very, very, very nice.
Yes, I would enjoy that. That would be terrific.
Yeah. Well,
yes,
good. Well, Dana.
I'm in.
Yes, good.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Go forward without fear and go forward because you already know what you need to do. So thank you. Thanks for calling in. Thanks, Dana.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Some, when folks are intuitive and I don't know if I know Dana before or if I'm just getting this sense of familiarity more at a soul level, but definitely she's well versed in the ideas of flow and energy. And so if you're a person like that who has experience in sensing those kind of things, you don't really need to second guess your opinions. You can just go with them. And that's, I think a lot of us who are intuitive, it is wonderful to ask for feedback. But at the end of the day, we also do know what we're meant to do when we really, really sit with our soul essence and just ask for, how is the flow going? What am I being led to? Okay, let us go to the phones, and we have Katrina calling from Seattle. Katrina, welcome to the program.
Well, thank you.
Yes, hi. What is on your mind today?
Well, my husband of 30-some years died 4 years ago, and I just am wondering if there's anybody out there that I will be happy with after him.
So are you, let's see. There are many people that will arrive to you non-romantic and romantic.
Mm-hmm.
But what the guides are saying is it's your husband was very unique to you. The relationship was very unique.
Mm-hmm. He was.
So that relationship isn't going to come again, or a relationship that's similar to him is not going to come again. But that doesn't mean that some very lovely relationships aren't going to kind of be like getting ready for you. But if you're looking for someone like him, you aren't going to find anyone.
Okay,
If you're open.
Yeah, I just don't know if I could settle for anybody that wasn't as good as him.
Well, there's people as good as him, but they're not going to be like him. They're going to be very different. Does that make sense? They're not going to have a similar personality.
Okay.
So you go ahead.
What do you know about downloads?
Oh, I I get a lot of downloads. Are you getting downloads?
Well, I'm not sure because I feel pressure in my head at times, and sometimes it freaks me out, and it makes me kind of upset, and I just don't know how to deal with it. I kind of understand the concept, but I don't know what it's doing to me or for me or how I should react to it.
Well, the downloads that I experience, it's more like being in a meditative state, and then it's like so much information is coming in. I don't necessarily feel a pressure at all. It just feels like whoosh, it's just all coming in, and usually it's at the top of the head in the crown chakra.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, well, you've been through some extreme loss, and so it would be likely that the guides are trying to I think of downloads are kind of like computer upgrades, but for us. So it's likely they're trying to help you out by bringing in some new perspective and some new understanding.
How do I react to that, though, when it's going on? In fact, it's going on right now.
Yeah, I would just be still and ask and just say thank you. And I wouldn't.
I don't perceive
it's
any kind of information, though.
Well, with the download, the information comes in so quickly, you don't have a intellectual understanding of what's happening. It's just like it's all coming in. Katrina, are you part of any spiritual groups where you're meeting people in person in where you live?
A very small group, yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I've only really talked to one other person from that group about this, and she said to open all of my chakras.
Yeah, I think it would be really useful for you to find a little bit of additional spiritual community right now. Like maybe East West Books is always good, and the Center for Spiritual Living. Those are the only two I know. I'm sure there's others, but I think it would be good for you to go to some group meetings and just get a little support on a bunch of different aspects. I think that you would be very lifted up by going to some group meetings of people of like mind. I think that would be very useful for you. Well, Katrina, I need to take a break for the show, but thank you. And get some support.
Much,
yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. We're going to be back with more Ask Sara with Sara Wiseman. Again, just go ahead to the website, sarawiseman.com, find out about my new book and the free online course, and we'll be back in just a flash.
Ragatan Parvar Parya Shabda Manaya Shabdot Kavo Harikara Manjani Vasaya Are you an empath, intuitive, sensitive, or seeker who wants to learn more? Do you long to master the secrets of spiritual intuition for personal or professional growth? Would you like to work directly with Sara? Sign up now for Intuition University, Sara's year-long program in spiritual intuition, where you'll study with a supportive group of kindred souls, just like you. Classes start every semester. Learn how you can become a student of Intuition University at sarawiseman.com.
Going against the grain has never been this much fun. Alternative Talk 1150.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Ask Sara with Sara Wiseman. Today we're talking about what are we here to experience, this idea of being infinite soul and connecting, looking at things from our soul perspective instead of the personality or the body. And we're going to go to the phones where we have Meryl calling from Burlington. I'm guessing it might be Ontario. Meryl, welcome to the program.
Hi there.
Hi.
Hello.
Are you in Ontario? Is that correct?
Yes, I am.
Oh, excellent. Great. Well, what is on your mind, or what can I help you out with?
Oh, I've been feeling quite confused lately. I am married, but not happily married. And about 4 months ago, I met somebody down in Florida, and we've been chatting by email, so kind of keeping in touch. And I feel like I have a strong connection with him. And I'm just wondering, like, should I pursue this or what? Like, he lives in California, so he doesn't live in Canada. So it's like a long-distance friendship, relationship, whatever right now. But I just feel like I have strong feelings for him, and I'm confused, and I don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm. How long have you been married? How long have you been married?
I'm going to say about 21 years.
21 years? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay. And how old are you?
47. Oh, 48. Okay. Sorry. Just turned 48.
I know. They all just blur together, don't they? It's like, I spent a whole year thinking I was 2 years younger than I was. Wow, was I shocked when I realized that was not the case. Oh my gosh. So what I would like to suggest is that, and have you and your husband, gone to a counselor or any of that kind of thing?
No, he doesn't want to.
Yeah, I would suggest that you go to a therapist or a counselor, and if he won't go with you, you go to somebody. So the relationship with the person in California that you met in Florida, that's just like you might call it a Band-Aid, or you might call it a catalyst for change. It's unclear to me what you're going to decide to do about your marriage. Obviously, you could get divorced, or you could stay with him, and that's kind of the question that you're grappling with right now. But the California person just kind of comes in as they're not your answer. They're your symptom. They're your symptom of all the things that aren't working for you. And I agree, your marriage isn't working very well at the moment and may not work well in the future. But going to the person in California isn't going to solve just anything. It's actually going to make everything a lot more confused, because you'll think, oh, that's my answer. It's not your answer. So I think going to a therapist will help you sort of sort out, do I want to stay in the marriage? Have I outgrown the marriage? And 21 years is a lot of time. Like, you and your husband are not the same people as when you first married. You're just not the same people. And so it is a common time of reassessing, is this what I want? Has this person grown enough to grow with me? What do you think about that idea of just putting the California person on hold and going to a therapist and kind of looking at the true issue instead of trying to use the California person as your answer?
I agree with that. I've been talking to my girlfriend, and that's what we both decided, that maybe I should go see somebody so that try and help me figure things out. I don't know if it's because I'm going through midlife crisis, or I'm going into my next phase of my life and I don't know what I want.
Yeah.
So
it's definitely, you're going into the next phase of your life, and when we get to like the mid 40s and the 50s, sometimes for some people in the early 40s, but we just start to look and go, does my life have enough meaning and joy? And right now your life doesn't have enough for you to be satisfied. And so the question is, can you and your husband reconnect or not? And that's like working with somebody that does marriage and family counseling would have, much more experience than you just trying to figure it out by yourself. Because This is like something that so many people at this age and stage go through. They're just like, is this it? Like, is this the most romance and love and happiness I'm going to have? Because it doesn't feel like enough. And then you're set. Yeah, you're just, and that's valid. That is where you are. But the California person, you could spend several years being in almost like a fantasy long distance relationship with that person, pinning all your hopes on that, and it's really actually not that real. Or you could really get down and work on your marriage and deciding I want to fix it or I want to leave it, and that would be the real place where the real issues are for you.
Right.
Do you have kids, Meryl?
Yes, I do. They're older. They're young adults. 2 of them.
Yeah, and so you've got like midlife and empty nest and probably menopause, and it's like, whoa, everything's blowing up all at once. So it is normal, to have all these feelings, and it's just a matter of facing them and looking at it and figuring out what you want, how you want to live.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
So yeah. I would also suggest that you kind of shop around for a therapist and pick somebody that you really like maybe see a couple of them, and don't necessarily, for some reason I feel like you might get a therapist at first that isn't going to listen to you or wants to only direct you towards one way. So spend some time shopping for them and get the person that's going to let you really express all your feelings versus trying to fix something. Because I think once you start to explore this, a lot of things will open up for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So if you can just put the California person on hold. It's not the solution. It's really the symptom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Meryl, thank you. Thank you for calling, and I wish you the best. And I think things are going to be way better in a couple months. Just go get some therapy for this, and it'll be a lot better. It'll be a lot better. Okay.
Thank you so much. Okay.
Thank
nice
you.
meeting you. Okay.
You too. Thank you. Yeah, it's a hard thing. All those changes happening all at once, and marriage is a long journey. So let's go to the phones. We have Cheryl calling from Kent. Cheryl, welcome to the program.
Hi. I had an interview, and I'm waiting on the answer. and having anxiety, and I'm trying to stay in a more peaceful state, but the worry mind is going on, and I wanted to know what you saw.
Yeah. How many let's see, interviews have you done recently? Like what part of the?
This is it.
Okay.
A promotion where I am.
Okay. It feels like. So sometimes, sometimes when we talk about flow, it's the idea that everything just happens easily and we're never, it just all goes forward. And that's the lesson from the universe. But sometimes the idea of having things that come up that we have to face, and then the lesson is like how we deal with the disappointment, or how we deal with, like, we might call it a block. And I think there's a little bit of that going on. I think it would be important to take a look at how you're dealing with the anxiety of not knowing, and almost choose that as the lesson, as opposed to, am I going to get the promotion or not? The longer term view is there are some really good things work-wise coming for you. And what I see it is it's not even necessarily in this same company. Like maybe not getting the promotion, or getting the promotion and then deciding like you don't even like it and you want to change jobs. It's like either one of those. It's almost like you're being led on a new path, even though that path isn't visible to you yet. Does that make sense to you? That you could not get the promotion and then that'll cause you to look for something different, or you even could get the promotion but you won't like it and you're being led to something different?
That's possible. I've realized going through this process to this point that if I don't get the promotion, I'm not really happy doing what I'm doing, even though there's good parts of it. And that maybe I need to explore outside.
That's right. That's exactly right. I think that, I think this is the real place the universe is taking you, is like, don't give away your power to the interview. Like, will they like me? It's instead you keep your power and say, I don't really like them. I mean, not them in particular, but I don't really like this situation. I want something better. That's the place of owning your power, instead of giving it, they're judging me, they're going to say yes or no, am I good enough? Does that make sense to you?
Yes, that does. And I'm kind of in that. In fact, I feel like if I don't get it, that it will almost be kind of embarrassing. Which I know I can get past. But if I don't get it, I also feel like they're not valuing me. Maybe that's actually the crux of it, is that they're not valuing me.
Yeah. I don't know that it would be embarrassing. You might be more angry. I think that promotion or no promotion, you are moving somewhere else. And so just accepting that will help you have a different way of dealing with this, I guess. Just accepting the universe is moving you to something different.
Okay. Which has up until now been absolutely terrifying to move on. Yeah. But the universe doesn't want us to just be in one doing the same thing all the time. We're meant to grow. And we're meant to grow through our anxiety and our terror. We're meant to push past those. Okay.
For my book, I've had to do over 30 radio shows on a radio tour. And the first couple, I was so afraid I couldn't even sleep at night, and it was just like, and the universe is like, you got to get over this. You got to push, you got to deal with this anxiety. And now it's just like, we just push through it. We just decide, yeah, I've got to do all these things that are new and different, but I don't have to have anxiety when I do them. I can just do it as almost like an adventure. So
well, maybe
just
I need
kind
to
of
look at it as an adventure.
Yeah, it's an adventure. It's an adventure. Oh, well, Cheryl, thank you for calling. I have to go because I've got some other folks waiting. But good luck, and you're being moved to a good position, so don't worry.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great.
Yeah.
Thanks. Okay.
Yeah. I think we'll just keep going. Let's go to Susan from Dallas. Susan, what can I help you out with? Hi, welcome. Thanks for your patience. What is on your mind today?
I actually always like to start with a very open question, which is, what does the universe want me to know?
Yeah, so that's a beautiful question, but for purposes of this show, it's too broad. I need you to kind of like
All right.
to guide me a little bit to like which part of your life.
Sure. Next step in my life, I'm at a transition spot with lots of opportunities and difficulty in listening to my heart's wisdom.
Okay. So I'm getting for you this idea of you have a lot of capability, and so whatever you choose is going to work or be successful, or it's gonna go forward. Mm-hmm. But part of the piece now is, it's very interesting. It's almost like you have some choices that are more, the words I'm going to use are like high status, and then you've got some other choices that are more humble, I guess, or maybe what you consider more humble. Mm-hmm. And what their guides are actually saying is that for right now, you would be happier with the easier choice, the less high statusy choice. You would be happier. And they would suggest that you choose that, even though you kind of think, well, that's just like not enough. I'm bigger than that. Okay. But they're suggesting that that is like the true place where more expansion is going to happen, and like choosing the anti-ego spot instead of the more ego spot is going to open you up in a lot bigger ways than taking the more high status approach for right now.
Okay.
It's like it's the full. Go ahead. No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
That makes some sense, because I've like you, I've just published a book, and there's opportunities to go in lots of different directions with that, as well as to not push it too much. And there's many. My book is something that can work for people in leadership positions. It can work for healthcare professionals. It can work for people going through a crisis right now. There's lots of different ways to do it, but I could also choose to just go in an entirely different path, which is to sort of follow some other areas of interest that I have.
Yeah, I think it's that idea, like, when you do a big project and then you need some fallow time or rest time, it feels like you need some easier time to regroup, and it doesn't have to be very long. Like a lot of in astrology, there's a lot of right now around the idea of, I don't even know what, some kind of retrograde, but like June through August, kind of like don't plan a lot, and it feels like that might be an ideal time to just, okay, I did this huge undertaking, and now I'm going to have a little breather and regroup. And My daughter, when my daughter was very tiny, she just made this up out of her head. The days that make us happy make us wise. I don't even know where it came from. It's been on my bulletin board for like 10 years.
Wow.
And I think that that's the advice. Yeah, the days that make us happy make us wise. And I think that that's the piece for you today. That's the wisdom from the universe. the little child handwriting on my bulletin board with that little phrase. I think that's it for you.
Okay. Super.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sarah. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. And now we are going to go to Crystal from Virginia. Crystal, welcome.
Hi, thanks for taking my call.
Hi. Sure. What's on your mind?
I just feel like I'm in a holding pattern. Like I'm just not happy with my marriage. I don't feel connected to my mate. I don't feel connected to my family. I am working from home, so I'm not connected to anybody at work, nor the work I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been contemplating for a few years just to divorce my husband, but I mean, I brought it up with him, but I just can't seem to pull the trigger. I went and found a house, and I have my name on it and everything, but he came with me to look at the house, and I just don't feel like I want him to move into the house. We have one child together, and I do want our son to have a father, which I think he could step up a little bit better with that. But I just feel like I'm just disconnected from the people around me. I only feel connected to my son. I don't feel connected to my mom. I'm starting to notice things, lying and all these things. She lied about who my father was, and she finally confessed. And it's just, I just feel like I'm by myself.
So you don't feel like you're, like sometimes when people are sensitive or empathic or introverted or all these things that are similar to people that are intuitive or psychic or whatever, they are often like the black sheep of the family, or they don't feel that strong family or relationship. They don't feel like they fit. And that's kind of what you're saying. Like you don't feel like you fit with who you're supposed to fit with. Exactly. How old are you?
I haven't found my tribe. I'm 49. Yeah. I'm either 49 or 50, and that's a whole nother. I don't know.
I know, it's so funny. It's like, oh my gosh, yeah.
Only because my birth certificate was a little wonky, so I'm either or.
Yeah. Well, and what do you feel about where you live, like this place you're living? Do you feel connected to that? The town?
Not really. I mean, I've lived many other places. I lived in Los Angeles, which I absolutely loved. I lived in London, which was an experience. I jumped on a plane and didn't know anyone, but I was taken care of, when I landed. And I moved to Atlanta. I didn't really like that too much. But here's where I live, right outside the Washington, D.C. area, is where my mom is and some of my siblings who I don't feel connected with either. But
how
so this
old
is where
is
I grew up.
How old is your son?
He's 9.
Okay. Well, I think that you are suffering from this idea of not fitting your family of origin, and I think you've also you're not feeling connected to your husband, and it feels to me like there's that idea that you've outgrown him, or maybe you had outgrown him like when you met, you just didn't know, you couldn't see that, and that's okay. Yeah. Yes. So but for your son, it's really important, and and this isn't really my opinion, it's more what the guides are saying, is it's really important that your son have his dad around. And so that would be the consideration. But other than that, like it could be something along the lines of you move and you figure out a way, maybe you don't have to be married, but you and your husband, or maybe he becomes your ex-husband, you guys all move together somewhere else. And the idea that leaving the family of origin and leaving the place you grew up and leaving all those associations are going to help you feel or be in the place where you're supposed to be. I do agree. You're not in the right place. You're not with the right family. It's like your little tribe of you and your son and your husband, because he's with your son, not because he's with you. You can go and figure out somewhere else. And I think that this process is going to take several years. So to kind of totally figure out where you're trying to head to and where you want to settle to. What about California again? That's what's coming up for me for you.
I just took, so when I moved from California, I had just gotten married to another person, and within 3 months, I found out that he had been cheating on me the whole time, even when we were dating. And so I took the first plane smoking back to the East Coast. And then 2 years later, this is where I met my husband. I thought I was over my first, but I guess not. But anyway, here we are. And then I haven't been back to California until last year. So that's been 11 years. And I took my family, my husband and my son there, and we had the best time. And I asked my son if he liked California, and he said he likes it, you know. And I asked my husband, but, you know, I know he's pretty much married to his job on the East Coast. But
well, I think that the first step is saying, I don't fit here. I don't fit with my family right now. Like that could change in 10 years, but for right now, there's no sense trying to force a healed relationship because it's not the time for that. I would just accept. I'm ready to shift and change. I don't think I'm in my right location. And then let the universe, you know, put things in motion from there. And again, the piece that I'm seeing is that whether you're still married or you're not married, it's like your husband's got to come with you and your son. I wish I could say it's different, but that's like, it's like a package that, your son requires your husband, good dad, bad, you know, not perfect dad, whatever. That's the piece to incorporate, or like you've got a karmic responsibility to have them together, something like that.
okay.
So I think
accept that.
this, yeah, I think
I just want to
this
get
journey
where I
is.
can take it to.
Yeah. So I don't think I would take this house that's in, well, or maybe take it temporarily, you know, that you mentioned. I think you're going to go out of state. So I would just start paying attention to where do we want to go as a little tribe of 3, and what are the possibilities. And then of course the universe starts to, you know, make things happen. And again, it feels like it's going to take a couple years but once you're there, then you're settled. Hey, Crystal, thank you for calling. I need to wrap up the show, but good luck to you. Wish you the best. Yeah. Yeah. Everybody, I want to remind you to get my new book, Messages from the Divine, and the free 11-week online course. So we've got 1,700 people signed up. Go to sarawiseman.com. and you can find out how to order that and sign up for the free course there. Also reminding you, anybody in Portland, be there this weekend. And finally, small group training is registering now. We're going to register about a week more, and then I'm going to close up registration. So go to sarawiseman.com to find out more about that. Guys, main thing to recall and remember is that we are souls as the first thing. The personality, the body, all the daily to-do, all the drama, that is secondary, and that's not why we're here. We're here to live from our infinite nature. And the more we can remember, the more we can experience our infinite nature, the more easily our life flows, the happier we are, and the more we have these lives of connection and meaning and love. I'm Sara Wiseman. I look forward to being with you next week on Ask Sara.
Want more of Ask Sara with Sara Wiseman? Tune in weekly for more divine teachings on living a soul-led life. Want Sara's books, courses, and free gifts? Visit sarawiseman.com.
The preceding audio was via a Skype call.